Look at the picture in your head right now. A cat curled up on an old wooden floor and a little white saucer of milk in front of it. Maybe it's a painting. Maybe it's a cartoon you watched as a kid. Maybe it's your own grandmother bending down with a bowl saying the cat looks thirsty. That image is everywhere. It's on cookie tins. It's in children's books. It's practically wired into how we picture a happy, well-loved cat. And I need to tell you something that's going to feel almost wrong to hear. That saucer of milk is one of the most common ways loving people quietly upset their cat's stomach. Not out of cruelty, out of tenderness, out of a picture we were all handed and never questioned. I've watched a cat lap up that milk and purr while it did it. Looked perfectly content. And then, hours later, that same cat is hunched in the litter box, gut cramping, passing water instead of stool, miserable. And the owner has no idea the cozy little bowl from that afternoon is the reason. So let me stop you before you pour the next one. And here's the part I want you to hold on to, because it's good news, not bad. Fixing this doesn't cost you a thing. There's no special product you need to run out and buy tonight. The answer is sitting in your kitchen already, and I'll walk you straight to it. But first, you have to unlearn the picture, because as long as that saucer of milk lives in your head as kindness, you're going to keep reaching for it. I'm Dr. Aurelio. I've been the old-school cat vet in my town for a long time, longer than I like to admit, and this exact thing walks through my door constantly. Not as an emergency, usually, as a puzzle. Doctor, my cat has soft stool, kind of on and off, I don't get it, nothing changed. And I start asking questions, and somewhere in there it comes out. Well, he does love his little bowl of milk. There it is. Every time. Here's the belief I have to break first, gently. Most people assume that if cats love milk, milk must be good for them, that the wanting proves the need. It doesn't. Cats love the fat and the protein in milk. Their tongues love the richness of it. That craving is real. But the craving and the ability to digest it are two completely different things. And in the adult cat, those two things have split apart. So let me give you the payoff early, no burying it. Here's the truth the saucer never told you. The vast majority of adult cats are lactose intolerant. Not allergic, intolerant. Their bodies have lost most of the tool needed to break down the sugar in milk. That sugar is called lactose. And to digest lactose, the gut needs an enzyme called lactase, a little pair of molecular scissors that snips the lactose into two smaller sugars the body can actually absorb. Kittens are born loaded with those scissors. They have to be. Milk is their whole world. But as a kitten grows up and weans off its mother, the body reads the signal. We're done with milk now, and it dials the lactase production way, way down. In most adult cats, there isn't nearly enough left to handle a full bowl of cow's milk. And here is the one physical sign I want you to watch for, the observable one, the reason you clicked on this. Soft stool or outright diarrhea that shows up a few hours after your cat had something dairy, sometimes with a bloated, gurgling belly, sometimes with more gas than usual, the kind you can actually smell. If you gave milk in the afternoon and by evening the litter box tells a sad, sloppy story, you are almost certainly looking at lactose doing its damage. That timing is the fingerprint. Now don't panic. A single episode of soft stool from a splash of milk is not by itself a run to the vet emergency in an otherwise healthy adult cat. I'll tell you exactly where the line is later, the point where you stop watching and start driving. But most of the time, this is a cut out the milk and watch the belly settle situation, not a crisis. Take a breath. Let me show you what's actually happening down in that gut, because once you see it, you'll never think of the saucer the same way. This is the part everybody skips, and it's the whole reason your cat is uncomfortable. Your cat drinks the milk. It goes down, all rich and warm, into the small intestine. Now, in a properly equipped gut, the lactase scissors would be waiting there, snipping every lactose molecule into pieces small enough to slip across the intestinal wall and get used for energy. Clean, quiet, invisible. That's how it works in a nursing kitten. But in your adult cat, the scissors are mostly gone. So the lactose just sits there, whole, undigested, unabsorbed, drifting down the intestine like a package nobody can open. And two things go wrong at once. First, the physics. All that undigested sugar is what we call osmotically active, which is a fancy way of saying it pulls water. Sugar in the gut acts like a sponge in reverse. It drags water out of the body and into the intestine, flooding it. More water in the gut means looser, more liquid stool. That's your diarrhea, right there, before anything else even happens. Second, the biology. That undigested lactose keeps traveling down into the large intestine where your cat's gut bacteria are living. And those bacteria throw a party. They ferment the sugar, they feast on it, and fermentation produces gas. A lot of gas. That's the bloating you feel when you press on the belly and it's tight like a little drum. That's the cramping. That's the smell. Water pulled in from one direction, gas blown up from the other. The cat's gut becomes a very unhappy, very busy place. And a few hours later, it all comes out the only way it can. And I want you to really sit with how ordinary this is, because that's the part that trips people up. When we hear intolerant, we imagine something rare, something wrong with our specific cat, some defect. It's the opposite. Your cat's gut is doing exactly what a normal, healthy adult cat gut is supposed to do. The intolerance isn't the malfunction. The saucer of milk is the mismatch. We took an animal built to stop drinking milk, and we kept handing it milk, and then we act surprised when the body responds the way it was always going to. There's nothing broken in your cat. There's just a picture in our heads that never matched the biology in front of us. And notice what the timing tells you. This isn't instant. Your cat doesn't lap up the milk and immediately react, which is a big part of why nobody connects the dots. The milk has to travel, has to fail to get digested, has to pull the water and feed the bacteria, and all of that takes hours. So the cause happened at 2 in the afternoon, and the evidence shows up at 6 in the evening in the litter box, long after you've forgotten about the little bowl. That gap is the whole reason this myth has survived so long. The kindness and the consequence are too far apart in time for most people to ever link them. That's it. That's the whole mechanism. No poison, no infection, no dramatic disease, just a sugar the adult cat's body genuinely cannot process anymore, doing exactly what undigested sugar always does, a few quiet hours after the bowl. Now here's the question I get right after I explain this, every single time, and it's a smart one. Okay, doctor, but kittens drink milk, their mother's milk, all day, every day, and they're fine. So why is milk suddenly poison for the grown cat? Great question, and the answer is the heart of this whole thing. It's not that milk changed, the cat changed. A newborn kitten is a milk processing machine. It has to be, because for those first weeks, mother's milk is the only food it gets, so a kitten's gut is absolutely packed with lactase, all those scissors, ready to snip lactose all day long. The kitten drinks, the gut digests, everybody's happy. Nature designed it perfectly. But nature also designed the off switch, because in the wild, no cat drinks milk after it's weaned. There's no cow standing around in the forest. Once a kitten grows up, milk simply isn't part of its diet anymore, ever again. So, the body does the efficient thing, the thing bodies always do. It stops making a tool it no longer needs. Why keep the lactase factory running when there's no more milk coming? The production winds down, the scissors get put away, and by the time your cat is a full-grown adult, that factory is mostly shut. So when you, the loving human, hand a grown cat a saucer of milk, you're handing it a food. Its body decommissioned the equipment for years ago. The kitten could handle it. The adult can't. Same cat. Different chapter of life. The milk was never the villain and never the hero. It's just the wrong fuel for the engine your cat became. And I'll add one thing that surprises people, because it explains why some cats seem to tolerate a little and some fall apart from a drop. Lactose intolerance isn't a light switch, all or nothing. It's a dial. Some adult cats hold on to a little more lactase than others. So a couple of licks off your cereal bowl might do nothing to one cat and send another one straight to the litter box in distress. The general rule holds for nearly all of them, but the exact threshold is individual, which is exactly why you can't judge safety by, well, He's had it before and been fine. Fine until he isn't. And here's the trap in that reasoning. The cat that tolerated a splash last week might get a bigger splash this week, or might be a little older, or might just have a gut that's already slightly off from something else, and suddenly the dose that was under the line is over it. You're not measuring a fixed wall. You're measuring a moving one in an animal that won't tell you when it's crossed. That's the whole problem with "he's always been fine." It's true right up until the moment it stops being true, and there's no warning bell in between. Now let's talk about what's on the shelf, because this is where people get confused at the store. You've probably seen it. Little cartons of cat milk, lactose-free milk made for cats. And you're standing there thinking, wait, is that a scam, or is that actually different? It's actually different. Here's the honest version. Real lactose-free cat milk is cow's milk, or a milk base, that's been treated so the lactose is already broken down before it ever reaches your cat. Remember those scissors your cat is missing? The manufacturer basically does the snipping at the factory. They add the lactase enzyme to the milk ahead of time, so the lactose is already cut into digestible pieces in the carton. Your cat's gut doesn't have to do the work, because the work is already done. That's why a proper lactose-free cat milk sits much easier in the belly than the cow's milk out of your fridge. The difference between the two is not marketing. It's whether the sugar is still whole or already broken. But, and I say this as the guy who watches cats' bellies for a living, I don't want you walking away thinking cat milk is something your cat needs. It isn't. It's a treat. An occasional, small, lactose-free treat for the cat who really loves that ritual. It is not a food group. It is not a substitute for anything. And even lactose-free, it's still extra calories your cat doesn't need much of, so keep it tiny and keep it rare. A treat is a treat, not a daily bowl. Which brings me to the part that matters most, and it's the cheapest, most boring, most powerful answer in the whole video. What should your cat actually be drinking? What actually keeps it healthy? Fresh, clean water. That's it. That's the whole miracle. Water is the only drink an adult cat truly needs, full stop. Not milk, not lactose-free milk, not anything fancy. Water. Change it daily. Keep the bowl clean, and if your cat's a fussy drinker, put a couple of bowls around the house in different spots. Some cats drink more when they've got options. That plain bowl of water is worth more to your cat's health than every carton of cat milk on the shelf combined. And here's the second half of that answer, the one that surprises people. A huge amount of your cat's water doesn't come from the bowl at all. It comes from the food. Wet food, the kind in the pouch or the can, is mostly water by weight. A cat eating good wet food is drinking a meaningful part of its daily water right along with dinner without ever visiting the bowl. That's not an accident. That's how cats are built, because their wild ancestors got most of their moisture from the prey they ate, not from puddles. A cat evolved in dry places, hunting small animals whose bodies were most of its water supply, and it never developed the powerful thirst drive that, say, a dog has. That's the deep reason cats can be such casual, unbothered drinkers. They were never meant to rely on a bowl. So when you picture that saucer of milk as your cat getting a drink, you've got the whole thing backwards. Your cat was never asking for a drink. It was asking for the fat and the richness. The hydration story and the milk story were never the same story, so if you want to do right by your cat's hydration, forget the milk entirely. Keep fresh water available, more than one bowl if your cat is picky, away from the food and away from the litter box. Because a lot of cats quietly refuse water that's sitting too close to either one, and lean on wet food as part of the routine, because that's where the real moisture comes in. That combination, plain water plus the water hidden in wet food, gives your cat everything the saucer of milk was pretending to give, and none of the gut trouble. It's not glamorous. There's no cozy painting of a cat eating a wet food pouch. But it's the truth, and your cat's belly will thank you for it in the only language a cat has, which is quietly being fine. Now let me answer the skeptic, because I know some of you are still holding out. Doctor, my cat's had milk his whole life, and he's fine. Maybe. A few things could be true. He might be one of the cats who kept more lactase than most. or the amount you gave was small enough that the mild upset came and went without you connecting the dots, because who's really tracking whether the soft stool 3 hours later had anything to do with the afternoon bowl? Or, honestly, he's been a little uncomfortable more often than you realized, and just never showed it, because cats are the best animals in the world at hiding discomfort. Anyone who's watched cats the way I have learns that the hard way. He seems fine, and he is fine are not the same sentence in a cat. So here's the practical line, and I want you to hear it clearly, because this is the part where I tell you when to stop watching and start driving. A little soft stool after some dairy in an otherwise bright, active, eating, drinking adult cat that resolves on its own once you cut the milk out. That's a learn the lesson and skip the milk from now on situation. You don't need me for that. Cut the dairy, the gut settles, done. But dairy or not, diarrhea becomes a real vet problem when it stops being a one-off. Here's what changes the picture. Diarrhea that goes on for more than a day or two and won't quit. Diarrhea with blood in it, or that's very dark and tarry. Diarrhea paired with repeated vomiting. A cat that's gone limp, weak, hiding, refusing food, or clearly not itself. And the big one, the one that scares me the most, signs of dehydration. Because a small cat can lose a dangerous amount of fluid through diarrhea faster than you'd ever expect. When ongoing diarrhea is pulling water out of a body that small, this stops being a stomach upset and becomes something that needs a doctor. That's not a wait and see. That's a call your vet today. Let me give you a couple of things you can actually watch at home. Because dehydration is a word people hear and don't know how to check. A cat that's drying out gets a little lethargic, a little dull in the eyes, and less interested in everything: food, play, you. And it becomes flat and low. If a cat that had a bit of milk is bouncing around, eating, drinking, acting like itself, and just left one soft mess in the box, your job is simple: cut the dairy and move on. But if that cat goes quiet, tucks itself into a corner it doesn't usually pick, stops eating, and the runny stool keeps coming, those signals stacking together are what tell you the difference between an upset belly and a sick cat. You don't need to diagnose it yourself. You just need to notice the stack and then let someone with the training take it from there. And notice, when it gets to that stage, milk probably isn't even the story anymore. Milk gives you a mild, predictable, hours-later upset that clears when you stop the milk. When diarrhea is severe, bloody, dragging on, or knocking your cat flat, something bigger is going on, and that deserves real eyes and real hands, not a guess from a video. If you're ever unsure which side of the line you're on, that uncertainty itself is your answer. Call. One thing I will not do is give you a home remedy dose to fix diarrhea. No medication, no anti-diarrheal, no measured amount of anything to pour down your cat. Cats are not small dogs and they are not tiny people, and plenty of things that seem harmless to us are genuinely dangerous to them. If your cat needs treatment for ongoing diarrhea, ask your veterinarian for the right approach for your cat's weight and health. That sentence isn't me dodging. It's me refusing to hand you a number that could hurt the animal you love. So let's put the saucer back where it belongs. Back in the painting, back in the storybook, back in the world of things that look like love, but were never actually kindness. Your cat drinking milk was never a sign of a happy cat. It was a sign of a craving the body couldn't back up, and now you know the difference. Here's what I want you to carry out of this. You didn't do harm by not knowing. The picture was handed to all of us, generation after generation, grandmother to grandchild, tin to tin, and nobody stopped to ask the cat's gut how it felt about the whole arrangement. So if you've been pouring that little bowl for years, let go of the guilt right now, because you were doing the most human thing there is. You were being kind with the knowledge you had, and the moment the knowledge changed, so did you. Which is exactly how every good caretaker who ever lived quietly got better at loving the animal in front of them. Skip the milk. Keep the water fresh. Let the wet food do its quiet work. And if the diarrhea ever crosses from a one-time mess into something that lingers, bleeds, or leaves your cat weak, don't wait it out. Call your vet. That's the whole thing. That's how the old-timers did it, adjusting the moment they learned better. That's how it's still done in every home that loves a cat. So tell me down in the comments, did you grow up thinking the saucer of milk was a treat? Be honest. And has your cat ever had that hours later belly trouble that suddenly makes a lot more sense now?